This is Low Vision Chef, and today we're going to be working on cleaning and coring a fresh pineapple. The items you're going to need for our project today will be a cutting board, a strawberry huller or a tomato shark, a garbage bowl, and your choice of knife for the project. Thank you for visiting Low Vision Chef, and we'll get on with our project. I'm going to take the pineapple by its stem. You can either take that stem, which is the big thing with all the leaves that stick out of the top of the pineapple, and you can twist it and take it off, or you can use it as a handle, and I personally prefer to use that as a handle. Now, I'm grabbing a hold of it by the handle, and then I take my hand and I kind of wrap it around the base of the handle, and I've got it rolled over on its side with the top of the pineapple, or the green part, going towards my left hand side with my hand wrapped around the very top, touching the very top base of the pineapple where the meat's going to be. So then I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to take my knife from the end of the pineapple, the total opposite end on the far right hand side, center my pineapple up on the board a bit because I'm noticing my handle is there where I don't want it to be, so I'm centering it up on the board a little bit. I'm going to take my knife and just kind of feeling the contour of the pineapple. I'm going to go up over the pineapple, come back down, blade towards the right hand wall, not towards my hand, okay? And then kind of I'm feeling up with my index finger, keeping them curved under, feeling that I'm going to take off about, say, about a ½ inch of that pineapple top. So I'm going to go down with my knife, straight down into the cutting board with my knife, and I'm going to pull my hand back out of the way now that I've found my spot to cut off. And then I'm just going to go straight down, and I'm taking off the top of the pineapple with that pineapple decoration part now I've got removed. Now some people like to keep that for the center of a fruit tray or whatever, but I prefer not to. I'm just going to get rid of it, okay? So now I'm going to turn it around to the right hand side of my board up against my knife, and I feel that I haven't done a very good clean straight cut, so I'm just going to go with my knife up against the pineapple, come up, and then I'm just going to even it off, bringing my fingers back out of the way, curling them under, and you want to refer to the knife skills video for that and the claw method. So you always want to keep your fingers curled under and keep your thumb, most importantly, out of the way because it wants to go out there and get hurt. Okay, now, so I took off a little bit more of that, and I'm going to feel, it feels pretty flat. So now, I'm taking the pineapple, now the bottom stem that it normally would sit on, I've taken now, and it's going up towards the ceiling. So I'm taking my fingers of my left hand, and I'm just going to place my fingers on the center of the bottom of the core, which normally would be the bottom of the pineapple. I've got it pointing upwards now, okay? So again, I have it sitting on its flat top on the bottom of the cutting board. It's sitting upwards, upside down now, because it has a flat base to sit on, which is what we want always when we're cutting things. And I'm going to bring my knife from the bottom, feeling the contour of the pineapple, up the side, and I'm going to come in with my fingers of my left hand, my non-knife hand, placed on the very center of that stem in the middle, so I've got them totally out of the way. And then I'm just going to come in and angle down and towards the middle. And I'm cutting a V. What I'm doing is cutting the first part of my V so that I can remove that stem and make myself a point of reference in the bottom of this pineapple. So now I've taken my knife down and inwards on an angle towards the middle of the pineapple, and probably about an inch down, okay? And now I'm going to remove my knife, and I'm going to turn it around, which is to me 50%, and I'm going to do the same thing. Again, placing my fingers on that very center stem of where the core comes up through the middle of the pineapple, just to have a placement for my finger, and hold it straight down onto the board. And again, with my knife, I'm coming up the pineapple, bring it sided across the board to accentuate things, to come to the side of the pineapple, and I'm going to bring it up so I can feel the contour of the pineapple, kind of find my place, and again I'm coming within probably about a half or say 3/4 of an inch of the stem, and then I'm going to start going downwards and in a little bit to the center of the pineapple to remove that bottom core of the pineapple. Now I have a serrated knife, which I have some hand problems, so I use a serrated knife because I can do more back and forth rather than having to use pressure with my hand, and that works for me. But if you've got good strong hands, you go ahead and use a regular knife. Just make sure you have your hand placement proper as I've described, and again I'm going from the other side. Oops, didn't need to, it popped right out. Now you have the bottom and the top off of the pineapple, but on the very bottom, as I talked about, we have a reference point, which is a line that we have cut, knife line as I might say, going across that pineapple, which kind of goes right down the middle, or gives you a place to put your knife so you can go right down the middle of the pineapple when you want to cut it in half. That'll keep it from sliding a little bit on you. Okay, but I'm not going to cut it in half yet. What I'm going to do right now is get rid of my little pieces of pineapple I'm going to eat later. And then I'm going to come up the contour of the pineapple, going across the cutting board, finding the side of the pineapple, kind of feeling the contour so I know kind of how I want to go back down on my curve. And then feeling where the skin ends, it's very rough, and where the soft texture of the pineapple begins. I'm kind of placing my index fingers to feel, and then I'm going to pull them in, place my knife going to the right at an angle away from my fingers, and then I'm going to start making that little bit of a contour back down. And that was the reason I felt the contour of the pineapple, so I kind of have an idea of how I want to make that curve cut around that pineapple. So I don't waste too much, because if you go straight down from where the edge of the pineapple is here on the top, you're going to be lopping off a bunch of really good pineapple meat, and you don't want to waste that meat. That's really good stuff. Repeat that the rest of the way around. Feeling the contour, go up and go down and in. Feel the contour come up, find the edge of your pineapple, curl your fingers under, and go back around the contour as you go down. Just continue this process until you get all of the skin off of the pineapple. Always want to keep your fingers back out of the way, and always want to have a flat spot to put your pineapple on so your pineapple doesn't fall over or go someplace on you. Okay, it feels like, I'll take my hands and kind of feel up the side. I've got some little pricklies, which you always will have a few unless you go a little crazy cutting. Okay, and now I'm going to scrape off my board just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take that pineapple over on the side. As you press down, those little pricklies from the pineapple stems, from the skin, that they kind of go deep, and they'll poke your mouth if you eat them. They might make your mouth sore. So you want to kind of feel where they're at and then take them. Now they run in kind of a little diagonal line, so you can kind of just take your core or your little stemmer, whatever you choose to use, and you can probably just go in a diagonal line and you can get the majority of them. So just go at an angle or a bias across, and you'll feel around, and as you push down a little bit lightly with your fingers, you'll feel they're going to poke back up, and you'll feel that little prickling. And then you just want to keep doing the same thing you do with everything else. Just give a feel, find it, remove it, use your fingers. It's just kind of like Braille for pineapple here, guys. Okay, feel it, go down in there, remove it, feel it again. I'm going to take it up on its flat end again and have that V up in the air.
The V, where the two angled cuts meet, is removing the core and acts as a reference point for me to cut my pineapple.
Feel the, again, run my knife across the cutting board. I'm going to come straight up. Okay, I'm going to feel to the middle where that V that I cut is. I'm going to put my knife in it, and then, which is the very center of the pineapple, and I'm just taking my knife straight down towards the cutting board, and I'm cutting that pineapple in half with the bottom, which is all peeled now, but it's towards the bottom is towards the ceiling. Okay, so I'm going to go in half there, and then you've got two halves with a flat, and you can take them and you can flip the flat side towards your cutting board. Okay, and I'm going to make quarters out of these. You can do whatever you like with them at this point. If you're going to cook it, you don't have to remove the core, but if you're going to eat it raw, it's a good idea to remove the core. That's why you have a center circle gone from every pineapple you buy out of a can, because you get that core removed because it's so tough to eat. Now, I'm going to take this half a pineapple and I'm going to, again, go to the side of it with my knife on my cutting board, kind of using the bridge method to help myself. I'm going to flip my hand around a little bit, come up, find the very center of it as best that I can, give it a turn for myself, and then I'm going to go with my knife straight down towards the board. Okay, check back to knife skills. That's the bridge method, and that's what I'm using to get this in quarters again. Okay, now I've got it in quarters. They're lengthwise quarters. They're about 4 inches long. They're the length of the pineapple, yet they're only about 2 inches wide. Now I'm going to take my knife, which is going to align with the length of the pineapple, and I'm going to bring it up on the very bottom of that core, because you now have a quarter of a core that has to come out, and this I think is the easiest way to do it. So you align your knife with the length of the pineapple, come to the very bottom of the pineapple across the board, and then come up a little bit, and the same as you did with the top, you're going to angle your knife in just a little bit and go straight, not straight down, angle it, holding it firmly down onto the board, and you're going to take out that quarter of a core. Okay, let me see if I can explain that a little bit better as I do it again. So I'm going to take the pineapple quarter, I'm going to take the knife and align it up to it. You can hear the knife coming along the side of it. Now I'm going to bring my knife straight up towards myself, only like about 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to take my knife blade and angle it still towards the cutting board, but just a little bit to my left. And then I'm going to cut down, and it's just about probably, say, 3/4 inch, but angled down and to the left as I go in. So I'm just taking that little bit of a core out of the center of the pineapple. So then I'm going to get rid of that core, and I'm going to do the half. Now I've got the other half of a pineapple, and again using the bridge method, I'm turning it, and then I've got my thumb on one side of the pineapple, bringing mine to the side of the pineapple. With the lengthwise, I'm taking it in quarters, leaving them very long. They're about 4 inches, 5 inches long. And then I'm going straight down, going through the tough core right now. I can feel it pull. Okay. Then taking it lengthwise, coming up about 3/4 inch to take the core out, angle it down and in to the left just a little bit, and you're taking out a core piece which is about 3/4 inch. Okay, I'm going to do it with the ceramic knife like I believe I promised you, and then I forgot. Okay, so now I'm going to take my ceramic white knife, and I'm going to see if you can see a little bit, so I'm going to angle myself, get my proper hold on the knife. Okay, now I'm going to bring it up against the pineapple quarter lengthwise. Then I'm going to come up about 3/4 inch or so, and then I'm going to go inwards and I'm going to go downwards. And taking out that core, about 3/4 inch of the core, if even that. And then you can slice it, you can dice it, do it whatever you like with it, and eat it. Thank you for joining Low Vision Chef, and you have a pleasant day. Keep cooking.